Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Is there a sense these days that adaptation is almost becoming more important than mitigation, given the progress on dangerous climate change around the world?
Well, adaptation is certainly a pressing need for developing countries, and the newspapers give us daily news of events that happen and that make it a very important matter. And unfortunately, the resources available to address those needs are very scarce. And given the lack of progress in mitigation, is probably more important at the moment.
Now, you're the manager of the Adaptation Fund, so obviously the tricky world of finance gets involved there. How are you looking financially in terms of the fund? Is it a healthy fund in terms of the amount of finances you have able to provide?
Well, I think no fund at the moment has enough resources to address the adaptation needs of developing countries, which are estimated over $100 billion US. This fund gets its resources, its main source of funding are the shares of the proceeds of the CDM, of the CRs produced by the CDM, the Certified Emissions Reductions from the Clean Development Mechanism. And as you may be aware, the price of these CRs, due the uncertainty about the future of the Kyoto Protocol, the market price of these CRs has fallen down quite significantly. So it's a matter of concern for us. However, we have received in the past some contributions from developed countries, but at the moment we have about, I would say, 160 million for funding decisions, so it's not really a big amount of money.
And give us an example about how that money is used. What sort of projects would we see on a daily basis that your fund helps facilitate?
Well, the fund has started funding projects last year in September, so in 1 year of operations, we have approved 11 projects, and in a variety of sectors like water management, coastal protection to coastal erosion, food security, a number of sectors. I think all the sectors that are relevant for adaptation are well represented. Agriculture, those are the type of projects we finance. But probably the most interesting feature of the Adaptation Fund is that we provide direct access to the fund resources. So if a country submits for accreditation, a national entity, this entity can receive the funds directly, if it's accredited, of course. The entity has to go through a process where its fiduciary standards are assessed.
Sure.
And if the entity meets those fiduciary standards, it can receive the money directly. And actually, our most advanced project is a direct access project in Senegal, a program for protection against coastal erosion in 3 vulnerable areas in the coastline of Senegal. And we have another, apart from the Senegalese entity, other 5 countries have succeeded in accrediting national implementing entities, among those other 2 from Africa, in Benin and in South Africa.
And how important is this direct access? Because there has been a problem in the past. Countries pledge money at these big conferences, and then we find it's actually part of an original pledge, part of their development funds. It's not actually any new money. Does this direct access fund, does it offer a way around this? Does it ensure that there is new money available all the time for adaptation?
Well, I don't know, because direct access relates to the access that the recipient country has to the fund's resources. Mm-hmm. What you are talking about is the pledges made by donor countries. In the case of the Adaptation Fund, we can receive voluntary contributions. Some developed countries have contributed with funds, namely Spain, Sweden, Germany, Monaco. We have received some pledges that have not been materialized. That happens, and we hope that after this conference we will receive some additional money.
And a final one on this conference. I imagine it's a fairly busy 2 weeks for you. What are your targets? What are you hoping to achieve on a personal level, or from the point of the Adaptation Fund?
Well, I think it's very important that this conference sends a positive signal about the continuation of the Kyoto Protocol. That the lack of clear signals has affected us directly because, as I said, the CR prices have dropped, and that means that our resources have been depleted. So we expect to receive some positive signal about the continuation of the Kyoto Protocol and the reduction commitments from countries that emit significantly.